Hello, Asheville. Welcome to this month's late morning show. Post Creative Mornings AVL. We're here with our speaker this month for the theme of justice, and her name is Nicole, and she is a organizer, a group organizer. What's your official title?
I am the regional organizer for Southerners on New Ground.
And you should have seen her in action today. It was a beautiful talk. The crowd was in it, and it was never experienced that amount of energy between the people and the speaker. I think that was a really cool experience of what you do. So we're so happy that you did this month on justice. And I want to ask you just a couple questions to get a little behind the scenes feel for how you prepared. So what excited you about this month's theme of justice?
What excited me? I think that for the past couple years we've seen people are hungry for something to do. They're hungry to find what it is that is like pulling on their heart. And I think people are really empowered over these next few years to really like get on the ground and do some work. And so I think the theme just made me think about all those people that are hungry to find their place in movement.
And I love the way you defined justice. We'll talk about that in a second. So what was your highlight moment of this morning from when you woke up to talk?
My highlight moment, as you know, during the talk, I nicely forced people to talk to one another, and at the end someone told me they had some coffee dates lined up, and so that was my highlight moment, because I believe that we can sit in all the rooms and go to all the workshops, but unless we're doing this and building relationships, we're actually not gonna get to where we want to be. And
that was what I was mentioning earlier. When we post the video, all of you can see for yourselves, if you weren't here, how that went down this morning. It was, Nicole just walked off the stage, and the audience was just engaged in each other. And so when you defined justice this morning, you defined it as radical imagination. And that came up as like a sub-theme to the theme.
Mm-hmm.
Can you explain a little more what you feel in that word, those two words?
Yeah, I think a lot of times, like I was saying earlier in my talk, it is very easy for us to vision and get out the big paper and sit in circles, which I think that's needed, but we need to just experiment. And for me, radical imagination goes hand in hand with justice, because the wins that we have had are because people just tried some stuff. They didn't know if it was going to work, but when it worked, they were like, oh yeah, we did that. That was our intention. So just try some things.
And the interesting thing is in our rehearsal together, through the talk, I was imagining radical imagination as something really huge.
Mm-hmm.
And then at the end we were talking, and you're like, no, it can be something simple.
Yeah.
And you brought up how the reusable bags at grocery stores was just this random little act, little change, a radical imagination to think anyone would grab onto this movement. And over time, we've seen it. People now, all types of people bringing their reusable bags.
Yeah, and especially I know Asheville, we're very focused on the environment, and we have a heart to take care of the environment. And so when we were talking, it was think about the person who was maybe we should use reusable bags.
That first idea.
Yeah, that seems so small, but think about the huge impact it has when thousands of people are actually reusing their bags instead of just throwing their bags in a landfill.
And so what I love about that is you see the radical shift in time. At first it seems like this tiny little thing, it doesn't feel radical, it's not earth shattering, but the impact over the long run was dramatic.
Yeah.
And maybe that's the way all movements start.
And it does. It just starts with trying one
experiment
thing.
With one thing.
And then it blows up. And the cool thing is, as the director at Song, Mary Hooks likes to say, this work isn't copywritten. And so the goal is to experiment and inspire other people to experiment with you.
Open source, open community.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. I wish we had more time, but I want to do the rapid wrap-up with you, and these are just a few fun questions. So the first one is, what is your favorite time of day?
I have two favorite time of days. So
all right, I'll let you have it.
Yeah, early in the morning when no one else is awake because it's calm, and then I would say afternoon right before evening.
Like transition points.
Yeah.
What is your favorite spot in Asheville?
Ooh, that is very hard.
You can't have more than one, though.
Oh, this is
Not
so
now.
hard.
You accepted more than
My favorite spot in Asheville, honestly, I'm gonna say my front porch. Yeah.
I sit on my porch all the time.
Yeah,
I love
it's
it.
great.
All right, last one, and this is not as small as I probably put it up to be. But who comes to mind when I say the word creative?
Wow. My family. Like I can't, I would say my family as a whole. They come to my mind when I think of creativity.
I love that. Thank you everyone for watching. Thank you, Nicole, for doing this talk and giving your time. And we look forward to all that's going to happen, even between this partnership and all the work that you're doing in organizing. So we'll post any links that will, if you want to engage with Nicole and help her make these movements, then engage with her, and we'll also post the video soon. So thank you for watching.